Pay close attention to this moment. A woman stands behind an SUV parked in a driveway. She opens the trunk. She leans forward and looks inside. At first, her mind can't process what she's seeing. Then reality hits. Her hands fly to her face. She begins to cry. That's when her husband comes running into view. The second she sees him, her body stiffens in fear. He grabs her. She struggles to pull away. He tightens his grip on her arm. She runs anyway, dragging him behind her as she tries to escape. Both of them vanish from the camera's view. Later, the husband told police she ran and he couldn't catch her. That was a lie. She never made it off that driveway. And what she discovered in that trunk was the reason she had to die. This is the story of a woman who believed her husband was cheating on her. She was right. But infidelity wasn't the secret that got her killed. The truth was far darker. And once she discovered it, she had less than 30 seconds left to live. Her name was Lauren Prescott. She was 34 years old and had been married for 8 years to a man named Tyler Brennan. They lived in a quiet neighborhood in Savannah, Georgia. A nice house, 2 cars, a white picket fence. The kind of life that looks perfect from the outside. They didn't have children. They tried for years, but it never happened. Lauren went through fertility treatments, hormone injections, and medical procedures. Each failure hurt more than the one before. Eventually, she forced herself to accept it. She told herself some couples just weren't meant to have kids. She told herself she and Tyler could still have a full, happy life together. She told herself whatever she needed to survive the disappointment. Lauren worked as a dental hygienist at a family dental practice in downtown Savannah. She had been there for 9 years. Patients loved her. She remembered their children's names. She asked about their vacations. She made sitting in the dentist's chair feel a little less frightening. Her co-workers described her as dependable, calm, and steady, the person everyone relied on when things went wrong. She brought that same effort into her marriage. Lauren remembered anniversaries. She planned date nights. She kept trying even when Tyler grew distant and distracted. Tyler was 37 years old. He worked in beauty product sales as a regional manager for a high-end skincare company called Luminina Beauty. He earned a good salary, wore expensive suits, and drove a company SUV. He traveled constantly, Atlanta for meetings, Charlotte for trade shows, Miami for conferences. At least, that's what he told Lauren. She believed him. Why wouldn't she? He was her husband. They had been together since their mid-20s. They had built a life side by side. For 8 years, she never questioned his trips, his excuses, or his absences. That trust shattered on March 3, 2024. That day, Lauren received an envelope in the mail. No return address. No note. Just a single Polaroid photograph inside, addressed to her by name. At first, she thought it was junk mail and nearly threw it away. Something stopped her. She opened it. The photo showed a young woman standing in front of a bathroom mirror, taking a picture of herself. She looked to be in her late 20s, with dark hair and a soft smile. She was clearly pregnant. One hand rested protectively on her stomach. At the bottom of the photo, 5 words were written in black ink. The handwriting was slow and deliberate, like the writer wanted to be absolutely clear. This baby is your husband's. Lauren's first reaction was denial. It had to be a mistake, a cruel prank, someone trying to hurt her for reasons she couldn't understand. Tyler would never cheat. They had 8 years together, a shared life, a marriage built on trust, or so she thought. She sat at the kitchen table for nearly an hour, staring at the photo, reading those 5 words again and again. The handwriting looked nervous, almost desperate, like someone was scared, but needed Lauren to know the truth. By the time Tyler came home that evening, Lauren had made a decision. She wouldn't confront him yet. She needed proof. She needed to know exactly what she was dealing with. That decision would cost her life. Tyler came home acting completely normal. He kissed her cheek, asked about her day, ate dinner with her, talked about a client meeting scheduled for the next morning. Lauren watched him closely, wondering how long he had been lying. How many work trips were really weekends with another woman? She felt sick but stayed calm. She smiled. She nodded. She waited for him to fall asleep. She planned to search his things. But that night never came. The next morning, while Tyler was in the shower, Lauren noticed his car keys sitting on the kitchen counter, and she remembered something strange. Lately, Tyler had been very protective of his SUV. He never let her drive it. He always parked it himself. He claimed he had work samples in the trunk that couldn't be disturbed. Work samples. Lauren picked up the keys. What she didn't know was that Tyler had killed a woman named Megan Olcott 5 days earlier. He had hidden her body inside a storage chest in the trunk of that SUV while he figured out what to do. He planned to move the body later that night, March 4th. He had already found a remote, abandoned property 40 miles outside Savannah. Lauren opened the trunk 6 hours before he planned to move her. 6 hours. If she had waited one more day. If she had checked his phone instead of his car. If she had done anything differently, she might still be alive. But she didn't wait. The moment she pressed the trunk release button, Tyler's escape plan collapsed. The driveway security camera recorded everything. March 4th, 2024, 7:42 a.m. The sun was up. Birds were chirping. It looked like the start of a normal Monday morning. Tyler was still inside getting ready for work. Lauren walked out the front door and headed straight toward the SUV. Her movements were deliberate, focused. She had made a choice and wasn't turning back. She glanced once toward the house to make sure Tyler wasn't watching. Then she reached the trunk. Then she pressed the button to open the trunk. It lifted slowly. Lauren leaned forward and looked inside. For a moment, she didn't move at all. Her body went stiff as her brain struggled to understand what she was seeing. Inside the trunk was a large black storage chest. Heavy duty. The kind people use for camping gear or holiday decorations. The lid wasn't fully closed. It sat slightly ajar, and there was something else. Dark stains on the trunk carpet. Dried. Brown. Impossible to mistake. Lauren's hand shook as she reached out and lifted the lid just a few inches. What she saw destroyed her. A hand. A woman's hand. The fingernails were painted red. The exact same shade of red Lauren had seen in the Polaroid photograph. The same nail polish the pregnant woman in the mirror had been wearing. Lauren stumbled backward as if she'd been hit. Her hands flew to her mouth. A sound came out of her that wasn't quite a scream, more like all the air being ripped from her lungs at once. She started crying, shaking, her entire body trembling with a kind of horror so intense her mind couldn't fully process it. Her husband hadn't just cheated on her. He had murdered the woman he cheated with. And now Lauren knew. That's when Tyler appeared. He came running out of the front door, still dressed for work, his tie knot fully straightened, moving fast. Too fast. He wasn't confused. He wasn't wondering why his wife was crying in the driveway. He had heard the trunk open from inside the house. For 5 days, he had been listening for that sound every morning, terrified it would happen. And now it had. His only thought was stopping her. Lauren saw him coming and her body reacted with pure, instinctive terror. This wasn't her husband anymore. This was a predator. A killer. The man who had stuffed a woman's body into his trunk like luggage. She tried to run. He grabbed her arm. She twisted and pulled, trying to break free. He didn't let go. His fingers dug into her skin. She opened her mouth to scream. The camera has no audio. We'll never know if anyone heard her. She ran anyway, dragging him behind her. The two of them moved across the driveway in a horrifying struggle. Lauren trying desperately to escape. Tyler refusing to release his grip. Her feet scrambling. His hold unbreakable. Then they disappeared from the camera's view together. Still connected. Still fighting. That's where the footage ends. Those are the final 11 seconds of Lauren Prescott's life ever captured on video. Everything that happened after exists only in Tyler's memory, and he has never spoken about it. Tyler called the police at 8:15 a.m. that same morning. He reported his wife missing. He said they had argued over something minor. He said Lauren became upset and ran off. He claimed he tried to follow her but couldn't catch her. He said he drove around the neighborhood looking for her and couldn't find her. He said he was worried. And he looked worried. For about 72 hours, his performance worked. The first thing that raised investigators' suspicions was the security camera. Tyler forgot about it. He had installed it himself 2 years earlier after several car break-ins in the neighborhood. He had watched that footage dozens of times while checking package deliveries. But on the morning of March 4th, he didn't think about it. He didn't realize it had recorded everything. When police asked if there was any home security footage, Tyler hesitated for just a moment. Detectives noticed. They asked again. He gave them access. And everything changed. Detective Maria Santos watched the video 6 times. She saw Lauren open the trunk. She saw the way her body collapsed in shock. She saw her stumble back in horror. She saw Tyler rush out and grab his wife. She watched them struggle. She watched them disappear together. Then she listened to Tyler's statement again. He claimed Lauren ran off. He said he tried to catch her, but the footage showed his hand locked around her arm. He never let go. That wasn't a woman running away. That was a woman being taken. Detective Santos obtained a warrant to search Tyler's SUV. Before the search, she dug into his background. On paper, Tyler Brennan looked clean. Regional sales manager for a high-end skincare company called Luminina Beauty. Strong performance reviews. No criminal record. Not even a traffic citation. Neighbors described him as quiet and friendly. A good husband who traveled often for work. Co-workers said he was charming, especially with female clients. One colleague mentioned Tyler was very protective of his phone and often stepped outside to take calls, but that was brushed off as professionalism. Now, none of it felt normal. The trunk of Tyler's SUV told the truth. The storage chest was gone. Tyler had managed to remove it during the chaos after Lauren vanished. But luminol revealed what cleaning couldn't erase. Blood traces covered the trunk carpet, the edges where the chest had been, the underside of the trunk lid, and the interior walls. Someone had bled heavily inside that trunk. And someone had worked hard to hide it. The blood matched Lauren Prescott. Further testing confirmed it was hers. But there was something else. Mixed with Lauren's blood was another blood type. Someone else had bled in that trunk before her. Someone whose DNA wasn't in any database yet. Tyler was arrested on March 7, 2024, 3 days after Lauren disappeared. He stuck to his story. She ran away. He couldn't catch her. He didn't know where she went. He couldn't explain the blood. He couldn't explain the footage. He just kept repeating the lie. While processing the arrest, Detective Santos searched Lauren's personal belongings for clues. In the drawer of Lauren's nightstand, she found a Polaroid photograph. A pregnant woman standing in a mirror. 5 words written at the bottom. "This baby is your husband's." Detective Santos stared at the photo and realized this wasn't just a missing wife. There was another woman.